Village of Wheeling Plan Commission meeting for Thursday, October 25th, 2013 is called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Burns.
Here.
Commissioner Dorban.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson, I'm here. Commissioner Powers gave prior notice that he would not be here tonight. Commissioner Schaaf.
Here.
Commissioner Steilen.
Here.
And Chairman Rafato.
Here. Mr. Jennings, is there any changes to the agenda?
No, we have no changes this evening.
Okay, thank you. Number 5, citizen concerns and comments. Is there anyone in the audience? Yes, sir. Please come to the... Yes, please come to the podium. And if you could give your name and address, that would be great. Thank you very much.
Yes, my name is David Robinson, and I'm on the board of the Astor Place Condo Association.
Yes.
And I reside at 511 Prestwick Lane, Unit 301.
Okay, thank you.
I have a number of questions for you. I've been advised that the trailer park has been condemned. I'd like to confirm that, first of all.
The trailer park was closed to access. There's been no information regarding condemnation of it. It's been closed. It was deemed unsafe when the water level came.
Right. I was advised by someone in law enforcement that the property was actually condemned and that all the trailers are going to be removed.
We have no information on that.
No information on that?
It was closed. The residents have been allowed back in for their items.
Right.
But there's no running water,
right.
no functioning sewer system, and no electricity right now, so it's not.
Well, just to make it clear, what law enforcement is telling people is that the property has been condemned, that all the trailers are going to be removed, and that the land has to be reclaimed in some form because of the waste material and so on?
This is Village of Wheeling law enforcement?
Yes, correct.
I'll look into it.
And if that is the case, and again, I realize that I'm going to call it hypothetical now because this is what was told to me. If that is the case, and it is condemned, and it is removed, and the land is cleaned, could there ever be another trailer park there, or would we then be looking down the road, possibly the river walk, which was previously discussed several months ago, or over a year ago, as the case may be?
You're right, that is many hypotheticals.
Right, but if that were the case, if it were condemned and if the land is cleaned, do you see that as viable to someone to put a trailer park up again, or you think it would be more likely that it would be made into a riverwalk if those things were true?
The zoning regulations under today's code are different, different than they were when this was originally constructed. So if it were to be a trailer park again, it would have to comply with today's zoning code. So the village has no position on it. It's
okay. As
of this time, there are residents who had to evacuate it because of the condition, and we're dealing with that. Right.
But they're not calling it condemned at this point?
I have no information that it has been condemned.
Okay.
It's been closed because it's unsafe.
Okay, thank you so much.
Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address any concerns and comments? Okay, thank you. We have no consent items for tonight, so moving to items for review. Docket number 2013-8 and SCBA 13-9 Little Caesars Pizza, 534B West Dundee Road, special use and site plan approval for a carryout restaurant, and SCBA 13-9 appearance approval of a wall sign. Mr. Secretary.
Docket number 2013-8, Faz Rahman, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name, owner of Little Caesars Pizza, lessee, is seeking special use site plan approval as required under Title 19 zoning of the Wheeling Municipal Code, Chapter 19-05, mixed use and overlay districts, Chapter 19-10 use regulations, Chapter 19-12, Site Plan Approval Requirements and Associated Sections in order to establish a carry-out restaurant at 534B West Dundee Road within the Lynn Plaza Shopping Center, which is zoned MXT Transit-Oriented Mixed-Use District. Standards for a special use. A zoning special use is defined in Title 19 of the Village of Wheeling zoning is a use of a parcel of land that requires review and consideration before approval due to circumstances or effects on the surrounding properties that may adversely affect them. In order to be considered for a special use, the petitioner is required to demonstrate through testimony to the Plan Commission at the public hearing why their request meets the conditions of the village code, including but not limited to how the proposed use will not damage the enjoyment or use of the surrounding properties. Prior to the public hearing, the petitioner provides written statements meant to show that their request for a special use meets the standards established in Title 19. The commission chairperson will typically direct that these statements be entered into the record without a full reading of them at the hearing. Based upon the testimony and supporting materials submitted, the Plan Commission will make findings in support of or against the petitioner's testimony and report those findings to the village board.
Thank you.
Take it away.
Mr. Jennings.
Just a couple of quick staff notes while we call the petitioner forward to the podium, please. There was some confusion about the plans. We worked with the petitioner to update some of the plans, and at this time we do have in the slides sort of cleaned up versions. The confusion relating to the sign, it was a two-page document. We've assembled that onto one page so that the appearance, the construction specs, and the dimensions are all on one page now. And also we've removed a sign spec drawing that was included on the floor plan. So that's what you'll see in these slides. The motions, the draft motions have been updated to reference those. So with that, I'd like to pass it to the petitioner.
Thank you. Sir, will you be the only one speaking tonight on
Yes.
this? Okay, could you please raise your hand? Do you swear that the testimony you give tonight to be the truth?
I do.
Thank you. And into the microphone, could you give your name and your business address, please?
Sure. Name is Faz Rahman, and business address is 3135 West Addison, Chicago, Illinois. And alternate business address is 9043 North Clifton Avenue, Niles, Illinois.
Thank you very much. So if you can explain your proposal here to us tonight for the Plan Commission.
Sure. We're looking for a carry-out pizza restaurant. Little Caesar is a national brand. Between Little Caesar and myself, I have almost 13 years of experience in carry-out pizza chain. I've been a Little Caesar franchisee for almost 13 years. And just to carry out, there is no delivery, there is no dine-in for the pizza place. If you guys have any other questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on this? Okay, great. I'll go to the Plan Commission members. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you. I just had a couple questions.
Sure.
This is the operations moving from your current Buffalo Grove location?
Yes.
On Dundee?
Yes.
Jumping to the sign, is that sign being relocated, or is this a new sign?
It's going to be a new sign.
New sign?
Yes.
Do you plan to have any other signage along Dundee Road?
What's allowed on the pylon sign, the landlord specs or the village specs. Besides that, what we're going to have is the raceway sign on top of the store.
What about the truck that's usually parked on the corner with the Little Caesars name on it?
That truck actually moves around. That's for basically, advertising, and if we have like a village events and stuff, we just go take some pizzas there. That is used between all of my locations.
How many locations do you have?
We have currently 7 locations.
I think that's all I have for right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Schaaf.
Thank you. Andrew, can you put up that sign that's on the packet? Okay. This actually incorporates, what, all 3 signages that we had?
It's two. The third sign drawing is maybe the petitioner can speak to this, but it was a prototype on the floor plan.
Right, and that was, okay. And this is the one that's going to go into the packet?
Correct.
Okay. Basically, it is the sign that you sent to us previously in an email, and with the correct dimensions.
With the original construction details
Dimensions.
and the new dimensions.
Okay. All right. I actually have no questions about that. That looks pretty standard for
Okay.
Little Caesars.
Thank you.
The only other question I have is there is a health division review, and I was wondering if you could show me on the floor plan where that the 25% of the overall square footage for food preparation and washing areas. Is that,
There is one right by where the lobby is ending. Unfortunately, I don't have any pointer or anything to show. Oh, there we go. All right, so this is the hand sink right here.
okay?
Okay, this is for the people working at the cash register, cutting the pizzas or handling the phone here. Then if you come back here, there's this one right here. Well, yeah, this is the mop sink right here. And there's one hand sink right here. This is to avoid cross-contamination. This is after they do the sheet outs, if they're making the pizza, they have to wash their hands and come back here. So as you can see, 1, 2, and then there's one in back here. With this mop sink, they're gonna have a faucet here.
Okay, the 25% that I was referring to was for dry storage.
Okay,
And that's going to be,
this is where the dry storage is gonna be, right here,
okay,
and this is the hand sink here. I don't know if that makes sense.
is this a walk-in cooler here?
This one here is the one.
That's the walk-in?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look like 25%, but as long as you can store, you never do intend to make this a sit-down restaurant?
No, it's not.
This will be just strictly carry-out?
Strictly carry out, yes.
Okay. And this particular layout has attached, Andrew, the key to all those little letters and numbers and everything?
Yes.
Okay,
It's not legible, so we didn't put it on this.
right, but I have no problem with that. It doesn't look like, well, as long as you can, store all of your materials, your dry storage, why they have 25%, that's the health department, but, those you'll have to comply with.
Okay, definitely.
From the, for the health department, they won't let you serve.
Sure, no.
But as far as the planning commission, this commissioner, I see no problem with it. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Commissioner Burns.
Thank you. And you have a total of 7 locations. Do any of them operate without delivery of pizzas?
Actually, 2 of them does delivery, the rest 5 they don't.
5 are carry-out only?
Correct.
Okay. If in the future you wanted this restaurant to use delivery vehicles and deliver pizzas as well as have the carry-out service, that would trigger you coming back here and talking with the village about where you would park your delivery vehicles and the impact that it would have on the actual amount of parking that you're required to have in the lot. So
Okay. Well, here's what it is. I signed a franchise lease with Little Caesars. They don't allow deliveries anymore. It's just carry out. Two of my store that does deliver. This was the franchise lease signed before 2000, and this was in Chicago. There was a special permit that I had to do with Little Caesars. None of the suburbs like Lake in the Hills, Mundelein, Buffalo Grove, Hillside, Lombard, we have ample, we don't have a lot of parking, but we just can't do it even if you want to. Little Caesar does not allow deliveries anymore.
Well, thank you. And thanks for coming to Wheeling, and good luck.
Thank you.
That's it for me, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Steilen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no concerns about the special use and the site plan nor the sign. I think they're all good. I have a reservation about your mentioning that you have a truck that has Little Caesars on it, and would like to know during the nighttime hours, where is that truck going to be parked?
If it's parked in this location, I'll probably choose a corner spot.
Could we choose a location? Unfortunately, I don't have the full site plan here, so I know that there was some parking, I believe, in the back of the building.
Okay, yes.
Would it be acceptable to park back there?
If it's objection to village or the landlord, then we'll do it. If it's not an objection, then I like to, probably use where the customers can see the logo or the graphics.
Exactly, and we have some ordinances about parking, advertising vehicles near the roadway, etc. So.
Okay, yeah, in that case, if you want, I can give you something in writing saying that, fine, we don't park it there. We'll make sure it's parked in the back or some other suburbs.
Or on the interior of the parking lot.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. My only other comment is that I will not vote to approve either of these two documents tonight because I haven't seen the plans but for 2 minutes ago. So, I would like to see the plans at least 24 hours in advance before I can vote on them. I don't know what has changed. I haven't had time to take a look at them, so you're not going to get a positive vote out of me tonight. But had I had 24 hours, I would have approved it without any problem. So, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Welcome to Wheeling.
Thanks.
Commissioner Dorban.
I have no questions, thank you.
Thank you. Andrew, I just have a couple of comments. We don't have to add anything about the multi-tenant sign, do we? I mean, that's just standard.
No, it is standard.
Okay. And then two, and I know the petitioner has indicated that there will be won't be a sit-down restaurant. If by chance it happened, that would be another special use, correct?
Unless this current review explicitly provides for some amount of seating, then yes, it would be a new special use review, very similar to this one.
Would they be automatically allowed to have outdoor seating per our outdoor seating allotment?
No, the way the code currently reads, there would be a limitation on outdoor seating because there is no indoor seating.
Well, they do have 3 seats.
Could put a table.
So I mean, could they have a table outside if?
Yeah, I think if the commission were to explicitly recommend that as part of this review, I think that it would be considered a waiver of that. I don't think it would be a variation.
Yeah, I mean, we do have that capability of having outdoor seating without additional charge for parking, whatever. So I would think that they do have 3 seats in there, and if somebody wanted to sit down and eat a pizza there, you wouldn't stop them, right? So it
Well-
could be for eating, right?
Yeah, I mean, we tell the customers just for waiting chairs. Those are not, they can't eat the pizza there because there are no tables available. And we don't like to serve pizzas, in the restaurant or even outside. There are other opportunities that we had, but Little Caesars policy is just strictly carry out.
Okay, I'm just trying to be a
No,
little
I appreciate
flexible,
it.
so.
I appreciate it, but I just wanted to make it clear.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay.
I have no other questions. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Johnson, a second by Commissioner Stylen, I would believe.
And this is for 13-8, correct?
This is for 13, the special use, yes.
Commissioner Stylen seconded.
Yes.
Just prior to
With the
voting, I just
condition,
wanted
yes,
to
I'm
read
sorry,
off. I
yeah.
had drafted a couple of notes on this while we were speaking. There were two conditions, as I just wrote them up, and maybe we can eliminate that if it's not necessary. Number one, that the restaurant's van is not parked in a location for the purpose of advertising. Number two, that the restaurant is to operate as carry-out only.
May I just get one clarification?
Sure.
That on the one sign, it says 18, on the other one, it says 24, the ones that's in our packet. Can you just clarify what size the text will be?
It's an 18-inch letter.
Okay, thank you.
And then the other note on this was just to update the motion to reference the floor plan that's been revised to remove the extra sign drawing.
So that's on 2013-8. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Motion was made by Commissioner Johnson. That's me. I vote yes. Commissioner Stylen.
No.
Commissioner Burns.
Yes.
Commissioner Dorband.
No, for the same reason that Terry voted no.
Commissioner Powers is absent. Commissioner Schaaf.
Yes.
And Chairman Rufato.
Yes.
That's 4 yes, 2 no, and 1 absent.
SCBA 13-9, appearance approval of the wall sign. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Stylen, seconded by Commissioner Burns.
Commissioner Stylen.
No.
Commissioner Burns.
Yes.
Commissioner Dorband.
No?
Commissioner Johnson, I vote yes. Commissioner Schaaf.
Yes.
And Chairman Rufato.
Yes.
Again, 4 yes, 2 no, and 1 absent.
Thank you, sir. Welcome to Wheeling. We will have something for you to sign.
Sure, thank you.
When do you think you'll be opening?
I'm hoping next couple of months, we'll see.
Great.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck.
Do we have a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nothing. Just twiddling my thumbs waiting. Oops.
Take this, I'll give these to Andrew.
Calling docket number PC 13-4, Waste Management, 320 and 260 Sumac Road, minor site plan and appearance approval for modifications to parking. Mr. Jennings,
No additional staff comments at this time.
if we could have the petitioners come forward, I'd appreciate that. Hello, could you
Hello.
give your name and address, please?
Name is Richard Drake with ET Environmental. Address is 12 Roosevelt Avenue, Mystic, Connecticut.
Great. Could you speak into that microphone? It seems that I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm having a hard time hearing the petitioners. So, could be my age.
It was
I don't
pretty
know.
soft the last
Was it pretty
time.
soft? Okay, great, thank you. Could be my age, though.
It's not just you.
Okay, great.
We're both getting old.
So, sir, could you please describe your changes to us?
Okay. We're the firm that designed and built the initial system that was dedicated back in May of 2011. We put in the CNG facility to fuel their trucks on what we call a time fill overnight, and the retail facility up in the front of the along Sumac Road there. What we're doing now as Waste Management is displacing their diesel vehicles with additional CNG vehicles, we now find it necessary to expand the system that we put in. And this, I believe, we had demonstrated initially in the first piece that we were going to be expanding this system as more trucks came in. In parallel, Waste Management has just commissioned a new maintenance facility that they've then relocated the function of this building here that you see into the new maintenance facility. The idea now is to demolish that building and extend what we call the K-rail, or the time fueling stations, for the additional CNG vehicles. In addition to that, we need to add additional compressor capacity, which we had put in a footprint for in the initial design, so this is just putting it in where we had already earmarked for it, along with additional gas drying capacity, and then the fueling is it. Okay, yeah, this is the system here. So if you look in the background of this, that is a compressor, the silver box there. I'm going to put another compressor unit right in front of that, behind the fence line. The dryer, which is the device see primarily in blue, another dryer in front of that. As far as the equipment is concerned, that is the extent of what we need to do. The rest of the work was already prepped for when we did the initial construction of the project. Diesel pumps, yet we have on there, but this doesn't change that, other than the fact that we will be using it less as we add more CNG vehicles. They won't use that. They will use the time fill you see on the left-hand side. What we are doing for the expansion would look at exactly like that. Same equipment, and the K-rail, same fueling, same light poles, pretty much everything. The only thing that changes a little bit from that photo that you see there, the wheel stops. We do different wheel stops now. Okay. So because of the interference with the trucks. So minor change. Outside of that, it'll all look exactly like what we have. We'll be adding 50 stalls to the 39 existing stalls. And again, replacing no more trucks, just offsetting diesel vehicles with CNG vehicles.
Anything else?
No, that is it in a nutshell.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, I'll start with Commissioner Schaaf.
Thank you. On our memo from the engineering department, where did I see that? They were talking about I lost it. Something for a new elevation. Did I read something into this, Andrew?
I looked at.
Did you see that memo?
It's number 2.
We just received this.
There, number 2, yeah, on that.
All of the comments from the engineering are kind of standard permitting. They're showing that the runoff from there's a small amount of paving that's going to go next to where the foundation of the existing building is, going to seam them together. So what the engineer is just noting is that everything that's required to show the drainage pattern is going to be required for the permit.
Oh, okay.
He had no particular problems with the plan.
So there wasn't something specific that triggered this. This is more standard. Okay, I was reading something into it. Other than that, I really didn't have anything. As long as you're aware of this, and
It really is just additional details he's looking for on the drawings. That's
okay.
happy to do that.
If I could make a comment, Mr. Schiff.
Certainly.
Commissioner Schiff, so I just want to be clear on what you just said. This is standard that is required?
So what our engineer is reviewing is not necessarily a construction permit drawing. At this stage, we've got some existing topo lines, we've got the existing foundation location, and what the engineer is noting is that some of the details that are going to be required to review this as a permit are not provided yet.
Are those details required for approval?
Not in the commission sense. There's no change to the appearance of the site. What he's looking for is proof that the water is going to make it to the existing structures. There's an existing drainage pattern on the site, and they have to indicate how it's going to work with that.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Commissioner Shedd.
Yeah, and those were basically, my question is, do we need something in this package that shows that? The staff believe that we need it.
No, as long as they understand that there are additional details that are going to be required in order to issue a permit, yes.
Building permit, correct.
Okay, I'm not really comfortable without, the required documents, and I'll have to think that over. Thank you. That's all. That's all I have.
Commissioner Burns.
Thank you. I share Commissioner Schaff's concerns. I thought the memo from the engineering department indicated that this project is anything but minor. So can I see, Andrew, could you bring up the photo of the building that's going to be demolished? I'm looking at 5 overhead doors, with a large kind of warehouse on either side of those. Is that correct? That entire building will be demolished to accommodate these 50 new parking spots?
Correct.
And the village engineer is saying that he needs to see existing topography with spot elevations and four other things. So I guess this commissioner is surprised if that fits the definition of a minor site plan change. And I also will be, maybe I'll hear some more from you and get some more information from my fellow commissioners' questions that'll make me more comfortable with my vote on this.
If I could just interject on that
Sure.
before you go with your next questions. The distinction between minor and major in the code and the classification of this was my decision, not theirs. The difference in procedure, if it's the consensus of the commission that this does, in fact, cross the threshold to major, the distinction is that not that there's a public hearing requirement, but just that this plan be forwarded to the board so that this plan could be incorporated into their ordinance. So it can be, if it is the decision of this commission, it can be switched to major and sent as a recommendation to the board rather than a final decision.
Oh, thanks for that clarification. If we were to approve this tonight, it doesn't even go to the board. It's our decision is final.
As a minor, it is a final decision.
that makes it more major to me. Those are my comments and questions. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm just writing some notes. Commissioner Steinle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess this is a little confusing to me, too. Andrew, would any of this information that the village engineer is talking about, even for a major site plan change, would that be required to be submitted to us to be reviewed in the packet?
No. It required for permit.
Just for permitting?
Not required.
But not as a part of normal...
Right. It doesn't have an impact on the site as you would see it. The surface of the site would appear the same. It's just a matter of what the slopes are, which catch basin we're talking about the water.
And how things are going to flow, et cetera, yeah. I guess the only thing that caught my attention, it was also that number 2 that said additional proposed elevations are required for new pavement area. I am now assuming when he says elevations, he means height and depth and
Exactly.
whatever. When I think of elevations, I think of building elevations and wondering, how can you do elevations of a parking lot? Okay, maybe they have a pole, you know, and stuff. So it makes it a lot more clear, thank you, and I don't really think any of this stuff, you know, it's going to be approved as part of permitting anyway. I think knocking down a building and making a few more gas islands that you're already very familiar with is probably a minor change. So that's my only concern. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Steinle. Commissioner Doran.
Thank you. Well, I too am a little confused about the engineer's report because it addresses 5 items that I would have, I think, liked to have heard more about them before I could make a decision if it's major or minor. And the way they're addressing it, it appears that it is more of a major site plan change than a minor. Am I misreading something?
I don't know that you're necessarily misreading it. I think that our engineer is relatively new at preparing these memos. He's only been with us for several months now, so I can talk to him about terminology. You know, we use the word preliminary differently than engineers use it, so elevation has a different connotation. So I can talk to him about some of the words that have a loaded meaning. I think our fire inspector has been writing his memos for a longer period of time, and I think with a little discussion, we can talk to the village engineer about some of the terminology that he's using.
And if
Based on what he has here and based on what you know about this site, and we know about this site because they've been here before, of course, do you truly believe this is a minor site plan change rather than, I mean, just based on what, I mean, obviously somebody new is seeing this differently than those of us who have been involved for a while. So why would he interpret it this way and write it this way if he didn't truly believe there was more to it?
The major minor issue is not something that the engineer is looking at. He's looking at where's the water going, and that's pretty much it. Is the concrete to spec? Will it hold up a truck, et cetera? He's not looking at a question of major and minor. The question of major and minor is really, to me, and when I looked at in the code and the purpose of this, if you compare it to the special use modification that was done where they added the maintenance building that this is replacing, that of course is major. They were doing a significant amount of work. We processed it that way. So we've got in this case, our approach to it was the CNG fast fill area is different than the slow fill. The slow fill is essentially parking moving around the site. They've got parking for vehicles in one location on the site, and they're moving the parking for those vehicles. They just happen to be filling them overnight while they're parked. It is, my view on this was, they are parking their own fleet in a different spot that's already covered with the building. So that's what I was looking at. And
yeah, it does confuse the issue a bit because the way he wrote it would give you the impression that there was more to it. So I guess my question is, in the future, how do we avoid having the petitioner stand up here and we go back and forth like a tennis match, trying to figure out, is it major or is it minor? So how do we not have this happen in the future?
Well, two things. I mean, I can, for my part in the staff report, I could note why the decision was made the way that it was made as to major or minor. And then the second part is just speaking with the engineer to get him more familiar with what the main points of his review to the commission would be.
Okay.
And
That's all I have.
if I may too, I think to your point, we go through the design process. We go through a board such as yours as the first step. We don't develop the design to 100% until we get your approval. We get it far enough along that we can get your approval, we can discuss what's going on there. Once we get that, we go and develop the design further. And what he's referring to here are the additional design details that will follow after your approval. Reason we do it that way is so that if you look at this differently and you want major changes to how we're developing it, we don't want to have to wipe the slate clean and restart the design process.
Thank you.
So that's what he's referring to here.
Thank you. I'm done. Thank you.
Commissioner Johnson.
I have nothing. Thank you.
I just have just one general question. It's not related to this because I think it's fine. Well, actually, one of it is. And in your drawing, you mentioned that, well, two things. I'll go to the drawing first. C2-12. It's the drawing where it reads, the building foundation is going to remain the same, remain. Why is that?
Because it's perfectly solid. We will top it off so that we get the proper drainage. But outside of that, we see no reason to additionally disturb the area and dig it all up. It's in fine condition, and we can park right on top of it. We put the K-rail right on top of it.
Thank you. And then this is probably, I don't know if you can answer this question, but in the letter on March 27th from Mr. Gerger, mentioning the number of trucks going in and out, it said currently at 118, but that number will increase by 12 during the third or fourth quarter of 2013. But then you mentioned that, well, the reference to the increase in traffic is to the compressed natural gas. Will not have an impact on the overall operations or change in traffic patterns. But don't you think an increase of 12, which is almost a 10% increase, will increase the traffic to that area? I don't know who can address that.
Yeah, John could address the 12.
Right.
But as far as the CNG, one CNG truck offsets a diesel vehicle.
Understood. So that's why I wanted really the address of addressing the increase in 12 in your letter.
John, you want to speak to that?
And if you can give your name and business address, that'd be great.
John Gerger, District Manager for Waste Management, 230 Sumac Road, Wheeling, Illinois. Basically, the additional trucks would be for picking up an additional contract, and that's when our fleet grows once in a while, is when we bid on another, contract to a village and get awarded to it, then we have to put additional trucks on. So that's where we get our expansion of trucks. And it works the other way, too, if we lose a village or something. So it's like an up and down thing.
But how does that impact it's got to impact the traffic around there if you're increasing it by 10%.
If you add a few trucks, well, the one beautiful thing about having that CNG line is that right now our trucks are all we have a lot of trucks come in sometimes at the same time. They have to fill up at that diesel pump, and they will back up. They will get on Sumac Road. By having more trucks that are CNG, they just pull right through the gate, and it alleviates that backup on Sumac Road also. So it actually helps rather than it hinders it.
Okay. Good, thank you. So what is your ratio of CNG to diesel?
Currently, it's almost 50%.
And then with this addition, will it increase, or is that
Yes.
what it's going to be? It's going to be a 50, or it's going to be more than that?
It'll go, whatever we add will come down on the diesel. So for every truck that we put on CNG, it'll be one less diesel,
So what is,
except for those 12 additional. Those will all be CNGs.
so it will be, when this is all completed, is it all going to be CNG, or are you still going to have some diesel?
At the end of this whole project, that's our goal.
So, and is there an end? When do you anticipate that happening?
Well, again, it depends on, how we get capital and be able to
Sure.
buy trucks and everything like that. So
You gotta pick
it's
up
a
the-
few years out
Got
still.
to pick up the garbage, right?
That's right.
Okay. So how is you still have the retail facility, right?
Correct.
How is that going? I mean,
It's going, it's slow to start. We've got a few customers, we're adding a few on. So we have plenty of room for expansion there. I mean, from what, what our permit shows, we're way below what we can bring in.
okay, great. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's all I had, but I do have, there was a comment from Commissioner Burns about this being major versus minor. Commissioner Burns, have you, any comments about that?
No, I was referring to my non-planning professional opinion. It seemed like a major project to me, and I was wondering, however, in the lexicon of, professionals in this business, how it could be construed as minor, but after everything I've heard, I'm more comfortable.
Is everybody else comfortable with that, it being a minor site plan? Commissioner Schaaf? I hear some nodding.
Okay.
I don't see any. Okay. Yes, Commissioner.
I do have another follow-up question.
Fine. Ask away.
On your site plan, I see a wait station before it looks like trucks go into the filling area.
Which page?
I'm sorry, a weigh station, are you talking for the transfer station, you mean?
No,
Scale?
it's right up in the corner.
I think it's for that, the loads. I think it's more of an operational for the loads.
A scale?
The scale?
If you put that up there again. Yeah, right there. That's where when the trucks come into our yard, that's the scale before they can dump into the transfer station. That's where we do all our scale in and scale outs.
That's existing.
That's existing.
So, but on the diagram, it looks like they're going to be going right into the gas fill area after that, or is it further away? I guess maybe my drawing isn't quite the same as...
No, they will loop around here.
Yeah.
The idea is the trucks come in here, they will loop around, which is pretty much what they do now, and then proceed here, which is what's happening today.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not changed.
Nothing's changed.
It just looked like the scale was more for entering that fill area. Do you have this?
Let me flip through. Let me see if I have that. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that shows the truck traffic.
Yeah, it just looked like it was more associated with the filling area. And then I have kind of a trivial question just for my benefit. Gasoline and diesel fuel, you pay a motor fuel tax. Is there a motor fuel tax on compressed gas? Anybody know?
Tom knows. Tom knows.
Tom Zenga Consulting. I retired from Waste Management recently, and I still work on the
Well, congratulations on
Thank
retiring.
you. I'm still working on it. But yes, you're correct. There is a FET tax paid on each gallon that goes in those things. It's reported on a quarterly basis, just like normal fuel is. They didn't miss that. We wish they had, but...
No, they had.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Mr. Jennings, do we have any conditions?
None based on what I heard. Was there a desire?
No, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything. So do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, Mr. Secretary.
Motion was made by me. I say yes. Commissioner Burns?
Yes.
Commissioner Dorband?
Yes.
Commissioner Schaaf?
Yes.
Commissioner Steilen?
Yes.
And Chairman Rafato?
Yes.
6 yes, 1 absent.
Thank you. We'll have something for you to sign. Thank you very much.
In the meantime, is it appropriate for the chairman to make a motion? I think that he should probably vote last, like he always does, but is it okay for the chairman to make a motion?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it, but I was ready to then.
Exactly.
I was ready to, but
Wake somebody up.
I don't know.
Have to get a parliamentarian to tell us Robert's rules on that.
Yeah.
You might have to,
Technically,
you might
they
have to
can.
vacate the
Technically, I
chair.
could, but I was hoping somebody else would have. There was sort of a pause there, so. Since we have approval of minutes for April 11th, 2013,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Abstain.
Other business, that is the Plan Commission discussion of workshop item priority list. It's attached. I actually have paper copies in my car, but that's a good place for them. But Commissioner, I'm sorry, Andrew and Brooke had put them in the packet in the back. I would like to hold off on discussions for a couple of things. I'd like to get comments from everybody, and though Commissioner Powers isn't here, and I'd like to have him be here as we're discussing these. So if you can review them for possibly the next meeting that we have, that would be great. And I took them verbatim from folks that sent me things, and that there are duplicates. I added duplicates. I didn't want anybody to think that I thought something wasn't good enough, so, or I didn't qualify anything. So they're here. We can expand on them. And then also I would like to have staff possibly, make some comments about these, get their input also into these. And then I'd also like to see probably a priority as to where we think what we would like to prioritize. And if you can get that to me, that would help us also as we're putting this together. Yes, Commissioner Steilen.
My question was about priority. Do you think we should should we rate them 1 through 23? Because there's 23.
I would.
High, medium, low.
I would.
1 through 4.
I would go, boy. 23, high, medium, low. Boy, there's a number of ways we can go here.
Well, some are duplicates.
Yeah, some are duplicates.
They wouldn't
So
wanna-
go high, medium, low. I would say high, medium, low, definitely. And then I welcome any comments or any additions because this is going to be a living document. Okay, so
Do you want us to send you the stuff before the next meeting?
I
or-
would, if that would be helpful, yes,
Okay.
very much so, very much so. Yep, great, that'd be great. So that's it on that.
We don't have this as a separate document.
I can send the Excel spreadsheet out.
Okay.
I have Excel, I'll send that out to everybody. Got that in my, I don't have, there's no USB in here.
I can send it tonight on the way out.
Yeah, okay, just send my priority list, right? Okay, great. That's it, and I also have one other thing. Everybody this week should have gotten an email from, and I'm going to try to get these in, I'm going to try to remember to discuss them in our meetings. if they happen, sometimes you don't. Drew Garcia sent us an invitation to a cocktail reception on Thursday, May 2nd at 6:30. The Korean Cultural Center Community Hall, if everybody has seen that.
Yes.
Okay, so please RSVP. I don't know if I can go. I had already made some plans, but as it turns out, St. Viator High School, where my wife works, has a large Korean student body, and we might, we're going to try to move around our things to go there because it would be helpful for her too. She really enjoys the kids there, so that'd be very good. I just wanted to set those two things before I forget. So, Andrew, do you have any other business?
No.
Okay, great. I'm going to start with Commissioner Burns.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you all know, tonight is my last Plan Commission meeting. I did inform the village president that I am resigning after tonight, and my commission was ending in June, and I had some plans in May that were going to prevent me from making those meetings. So I thought after tonight would probably be the best time, especially if the village board has someone in mind that they would like to get on the commission to replace me. It has been a privilege working with you all these last several years, and I appreciate the kind comments that you have emailed me, and I know I'll be seeing you around town. So that's it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Dorvan.
Sorry to see you go. It has been enjoyable. Whatever you're going to do, I hope you enjoy it. That's all I have to say.
Commissioner Johnson.
I echo those comments. It's been a pleasure having you here. I think the only other thing I had was, Andrew, I sent you a note about those signs at Save-A-Lot. I noticed they're gone now. Was that a result, or
Yes,
did someone else complain?
You were not the only complaint,
Okay.
but yes, it was a result of village requests.
So those were not in code?
No, they were not.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Commissioner Schaaf.
Thank you. I too will miss Mike. Of course, I miss him because he used to be my next door neighbor. We used to talk across the fence.
Did you move?
I'm sorry?
Did you move?
He did.
Back 10 years ago, or
It was a long
20
time-
years
it was a
ago.
long time
for goodness
ago.
sake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he lived on Redwood,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and then he moved to Robert.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
Thought I'd missed something.
no. No,
I've known him a long time, and I knew he'd moved, so.
Yeah. So I will again miss him. The only other question that comes up is this May 30th meeting still on, the meeting with the trustees?
It is.
Has there been any inkling of agenda items, or is this just going to be a free-for-all? Or
No,
I don't like free-for-alls.
I would imagine the staff is,
I'm sorry?
the staff, the manager's office, and the planning division are working together to prepare some items, presentation, that sort of thing. So
Well-
we should have some, it should get firmed up as we get a little closer to the date.
except though that I would like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of that. I don't need to, and I don't think the Plan Commission needs to see presentations. I see enough presentations here that you guys put together for us in our workshops. What I want to see is a dialogue based upon an agenda that we put together, that we then can have a dialogue, and then we can have some action items come out of it. Because our meetings in the past have been great standard meetings that we put together some nice presentations, and the village manager talks, or you might speak, and then we all leave saying, geez, I got some paper, and that's it. And to me, that's not a workshop. A workshop means work, that something comes out of it. What I would like to see and thank you, Commissioner Schaaf, for bringing this up, is that if there are discussion topics that you would like to discuss and that we could have some constructive discussions. I've already got one on that I'm going to submit that we can have a discussion about, a roundtable discussion about. That's what I want to see. You know, you guys do a great job, but that's not what I really want from workshop with the village board. We need to understand, we as Plan Commission need to understand how they feel about certain things too. And in our last few meetings, I don't think we got any of that. I don't think we got any of that at all. So as a Plan Commission, it's incumbent upon us also to submit some questions, some agenda items that you would like to see, and then I think, Andrew, it's dependent upon the village president, myself, the village manager to decide what should be on there. So our meeting is the 30th.
The 30th, I think.
Yeah, it is the 30th. Let me look at a calendar.
And I assume it's going to be over at Public Works, like it had been? Or is that an assumption that's...
That's an assumption.
That's an assumption, okay. Yeah, I would like to see, you know, at least some input from the Plan Commission.
How about by May 13th?
To Andrew, to you?
To Andrew.
Okay.
By May 13th?
Yes. Is that good enough, Andrew? And I'll talk to the village president.
I'll also speak with the manager and just let him know.
Right. Okay,
If the 13th is too close to the date of the meeting, I'll send
Right.
something.
So earlier the better, though. Right?
Oh, yeah, definitely earlier the better. Right, yep. Yeah, it needs to be more interactive than it has in the past.
Yeah, I felt that there was just a lot of rhetoric. You know, they made the presentation and somebody said something and then that was it. And there was no dialogue.
I would agree. But with that said, and I think you have said that, is that there needs to be some structure.
Yes.
It can't be a free-for-all.
Right.
Okay, great.
That's all. That's all I had. Thank you.
Commissioner Stanton.
Is there any chance, see, I don't know if this would violate the Open Meetings Act, but it'd be nice to know what questions the other commissioners are submitting, because it might spark some additional thoughts or comments from the other commissioners. You know what I mean?
If everything is submitted for the next meeting, you could talk about the topics in the next meeting and avoid any question.
Great. Okay, so our next meeting is the 9th. That would give, if we could, normally the packets go out on the 3rd, so that means that you would have a week to get some comments to Andrew and Brooke. Is that okay? So like the 2nd, if you have anything. And that's a good point. Then we can discuss it at our next meeting. Sorry, Pam, that you have to bring that out again.
That's all right.
I think that's a good point,
Connected to my hand anyway.
Okay, great. Commissioner Stylen?
Oh, am I up for?
You're up.
Just to let everybody know, before the Korean cultural thing came up, I was apprised that the State Attorney General will be at the McHenry College on May 2nd as well for an open meeting to discuss the Open Meetings Act and how it applies, some of the new changes to it and how it applies to public officials. So I was going to go to that, but now that the Korean cultural thing came up, I may change my mind. But Andrew, if you hear about the state attorney general going around to any other towns or areas, let us know.
I'll keep a lookout.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I think I had sent you, both of you, or maybe it was an email about the Montessori school, about their dumpsters always being out.
It's been visited by our code enforcement officer.
Great, thank you. I mean, they've got that nice structure there, and they're always out. Great.
The municipal inspectors have been by.
Great, thank you. And Commissioner Burns, I'd like to echo what the other commissioners say. Thank you. You've provided a lot of valuable input into our Plan Commission meetings. Sorry to see you go, but you make life decisions. And this is a life decision because you're going on to something else. You'll have your Thursday nights free. I don't know what else you would want to ever do on a Thursday night, but just...
Well, he'll be at home watching them.
Yeah, that's it.
right.
He'll be home watching.
Matlock on TV Land.
Matlock on TV Land. So, with that said, I have nothing. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Michael, we'd like your nameplate. We're all going to sign it for you. If you can get it off of there.
Okay. Let's start down there.
I guess we're starting it at the other end, Jim.
Oh,